My dear brothers and sisters, we are in the 6th Sunday of the ordinary season. There was this man who lived in a village, and the only property that he had was a horse. And he lived with his son in a small house. People were so happy with the horse that this man had. Constantly they used to come and tell how lucky you are. But the man used to always reply, lucky or not lucky, let God's will be done. It so happened after a few days, the horse went into the forest, disappeared into the forest. The people came back and said, how unlucky you are. The man only replied, lucky or unlucky, let God's will be done. After some days, the horse which disappeared into forest came back with another 6 horses. And it was a kind of treasure for this man. And once again, the people of the village saw this and came back to the man and said, how lucky you are. You had 1 horse, but now you have 7. You are very lucky. The man replied, luck or unluck, let God's will be done. The son started training the horses, because these were the horses that had come from the forest and needed training. So the son started training the horse. While he was training the horses, the horse pushed him down and he broke his leg. And so he could not do anything but was put in the corner. People came back once again and said, see how unlucky you are. The horse came but broke the leg of your son. You are very unlucky. The man only replied once again, luck or unluck, let God's will be done. There was a kind of message spread out in the village that the king is looking for the young people, youngsters, to be taken into the army. So he made an order to get into all the houses, bring all young people and put them into the army. They went by force, took away all the youngsters, put them in the army. But when they came to this boy's house or this man's house, the boy had already broken his leg. They saw him and said, he is useless, we can't take him to the army, he can't fight, and so therefore they left him and went. And all the people came once again and said, how lucky you are. They forcefully took away all our children, but they left your son behind. You are very lucky. The man only replied, good luck or bad luck, let God's will be done. Good many times we experience this kind of expression. Something happens, people congratulate you. Something happens, people also come and say, it's a very bad thing that this happened to you. But constantly we need to realize and have this expression very clear in ourselves. All that happens according to God's plan and according to His will. And so therefore we need to entrust ourselves into the hands of God. When we entrust ourselves into the hands of God, definitely God will lead us and God will guide us. And all the readings of today is especially inviting us to meditate on this aspect. The first reading from the prophet Jeremiah very clearly says, or it brings out 2 contrasts. Thus, trusting in God and trusting in the world. And so he beautifully says, when you trust in the world, when you trust in the strength of human being, he says, curse on those who trust in the human strength. And so therefore the passage very clearly warns that just relying on the human power, wealth, or influence will only lead to spiritual dryness and finally failure. The second important message that Jeremiah gives is, he speaks about a tree in desert versus a tree by water. Jeremiah contrasts those who trust in themselves are like a dry shrub in the wasteland, and again those who trust in God are like tree planted by the water, thriving even when it is drought. So therefore he is intending to tell us, trust in the Lord. The third important thing that Jeremiah says is, the heart's dependence on God leads to stability. Those who place their trust in God will remain strong, resilient, and fruitful even in the moment of difficulty or even in the times of difficult situations. Jeremiah continues, God provides for those who rely on Him. When we trust on Him, when we depend upon Him, definitely God gives us. Like a tree with deep roots, a person who trusts in God draws strength from His grace even in the times of hardships and difficulties. Finally, Jeremiah says, true blessings come from your trust in the Lord. Material success is fleeting, but the life built on faith in God leads to true security and peace of life. The Gospel of Luke speaks about beatitudes. Who are the blessed? And how does this blessedness come? And he says, true blessedness comes from the dependence on God. Jesus declares the poor, the hungry, the sorrowful, the persecuted are blessed because they rely on God and not on worldly wealth or not on human strength, not on the status of the world. He also gives a warning against the earthly rich and comfort. He says, he warns that those who place their trust in material wealth and worldly success will eventually face disappointment. Jesus also says, suffering for Christ leads to eternal reward. Persecution, rejection, and suffering for faith brings blessing and reward in heaven. Luke also continues to say, worldly happiness is temporary. Jesus cautions that those who are comfortable, wealthy, and praised now should not assume their status will last in eternity. Finally, the Gospel says, a call to live differently from the world. We are called to live a different people than the ordinary people of the world. Jesus' message contradicts common societal values. Instead of seeking power, wealth, approval, believers should seek God's kingdom. And that's why he said, seek the kingdom of God and all the other rest will be added unto you. Such is the message that the gospel is giving us today. Keeping these readings, what does God intend to tell us? The first important message that he is giving is, trust in God and not in humans. Relying solely on human strength leads to spiritual dryness. True security and blessings come from trusting in God, not in people or worldly power. Second, be rooted in God's stability. Be rooted in God's stability. A person who trusts in God is like a tree planted by the waters, always nourished and unshaken by hardships. When our faith is deep in God, we can endure any storm of life. Thirdly, God blesses the humble and poor in the spirit. Jesus very clearly teaches that those who recognize their dependence on God, whether materially or spiritually, will experience true joy and divine favor. Fourthly, earthly wealth and comfort are temporary. Everything will pass. Wealth and the worldly success can lead us to complacency. Jesus warns against finding security in material things, as they can distract from our relationship with God. And finally, endurance, persecution with faith. There are so many difficulties, there are so many problems we need to overcome. Those who suffer for their faith will be rewarded in heaven. Rejection by the world is often a sign of walking in God's truth. This is the message readings are telling us today. So let us take this very seriously, entrust ourselves into the hands of God, and plan to walk in the path of God and fulfill His will at all times. Films of hope during the Jubilee year 2025. As part of the celebration for the Jubilee 2025, the Vatican has recommended a selection of inspiring films under the theme Films for a Jubilee of Hope. These films have been carefully chosen to reflect the essence of hope, resilience, faith, and human dignity, echoing the spirit of the Jubilee year. Among the recommended films, let us see a few of them. The first one would be Fallen Leaves, a story that beautifully captures human connections and second chances, reminding us that hope often emerges in the most unexpected ways. The second movie is Silence, a deeply spiritual and thought-provoking film that explores faith and perseverance in the face of trials, inspiring the viewers to hold on to hope. The third is Perfect Days, a poetic and uplifting film that highlights the beauty of everyday life, demonstrating how joy can be found in simple moments. The fourth one, La Chimera, a film that intertwines fantasy and reality, exploring the search for meaning and fulfillment, ultimately leaving the audience with a sense of hope. Fifth one, The Concert, a heartwarming and emotional journey of redemption through music, showcasing the power of dreams and second chances. Sixth one, One Life, a movie tribute to acts of heroism and compassion, proving that one person's efforts can bring hope to many. 7. The Gate of Heaven, a film that reflects the ultimate hope found in faith and the promise of salvation. Recognizing the importance of this film in spreading the message of hope, the Archdiocesan Communication Center has created a special drive link where all these movies are available. Those who wish to watch these movies can reach out to ACC, and necessary arrangement will be made to provide access. This film serves as a powerful medium to inspire, encourage, and strengthen our faith as we prepare for the Jubilee year. Let us embrace this opportunity to reflect on the deeper meaning of hope through the art of cinema. Jubilee of Healthcare Workers. The Health Commission of the Archdiocese of Bangalore warmly invites you to the Jubilee Year celebration, a significant event dedicated to the integrating faith, health and service. This special occasion will be graced by Most Reverend Dr. Peter Machado, the Archbishop of Bangalore, along with the esteemed medical and ecclesiastical experts. The event will begin with a welcome dance and an introduction by Reverend Father Alban Zio, the Secretary to the Health Commission, followed by insightful sessions on health and well-being. Notable talks include a session on the 5 cardinal pathways to disease, free life and longevity by Dr. Stephen, CEO of Divine Hospitals, and a presentation on the intersection of faith, science and service by Arms Wide Open Foundation. A key moment of the celebration will be the address by the Archbishop Peter Machado, emphasizing the Church's commitment to healthcare as a mission and apostolate. Another significant highlight in the inauguration of the Catholic Mental Health Ministry in the Archdiocese of Bangalore, working a new step towards mental health, awareness and support within the faith community. The program will also include the welcoming and felicitation of the new office bearers of the Health Commission and the Catholic Nurses Guild of India. As part of the Jubilee Year message, Very Reverend Father Jesudas Rajamanikam, Director of St. John's Medical College and Hospital, will share his thoughts on the importance of faith-driven healthcare. The celebration will culminate with a concelebrated Thanksgiving Holy Mass presided over by Most Reverend Dr. Joseph Susenathan, Auxiliary Bishop of Bangalore and the coordinator of the Health Commission, followed by a special fellowship meal. This Jubilee Year event is a moment of grace, reflection and commitment to the Church's mission in the healthcare. We invite all of you to join in this sacred celebration, embracing faith and well-being in our community. Orientation for the new PPC and PFC. Dear Parish Priest and Deans, many of you have already sent the list for ratification, and many of you have already received the ratified list of the PPC and PFC of your parish. It is high time to have an orientation program for these new members, both of PPC and PFC. And so I kindly request you to organize program parish-wise or deanery-wise in order to enlighten the new members, their role in the parish, their role as PPC members and PFC members. This will enlighten a kind of or establish a good relationship with the parish priest and the members, so that both work together for the good of the parish, so that the parish may grow in all the areas of life. So I kindly request to consult the Archbishop or the auxiliary bishops, invite them to conduct an orientation program for these new PPC and PFC members. Jewels of the Archdiocese. In this episode, we shall see a special place called Jyoti Seva Society, which is declared to be a place of hope. The Jyoti Seva Society are taking care of 181 visually impaired children across all their centers. Education, medical care, nutritious meals, dedicated support and accommodations are all provided entirely free of cost to all these blind individuals, irrespective of caste, creed or religion. The vision of this society is bringing an inclusive society that values diversity, respects everyone and offers equal opportunities in education, healthcare, employment and social participation for all, especially those with disabilities. What is their mission? Their mission is to provide the best infrastructure, facilities and learning materials for educating visually impaired children while also teaching them essential life skills. The second is to offer high quality education in a loving, caring environment using trained staff and latest technology to ensure that these visually impaired children can thrive alongside their sighted peers. Third, to create awareness in society, especially among the educators and the employers, about the importance of supporting and including the visually impaired in public spaces, education and job opportunities. According to the survey, India is a home to the world's largest number of blind people. Of course, 37 million people across the globe who are blind. Over 15 million are from India and only 2% are educated. Jyoti Seva Society, the Franciscan Sisters Servants of the Cross, is a registered charitable organization under the Karnataka Societies Registration Act. They are also recognized as the charitable institution under the Income Tax Act and have obtained 80G status, allowing tax exemption for donations. Their mission is to educate, rehabilitate and empower visually impaired children, especially those from underprivileged communities. They aim to help these individuals grow into independent, confident individuals who can contribute to their families and society. The center in Bangalore was established in 1991. It was registered in accordance with the requirements of the Indian law and took the name Jyoti Seva which in Sanskrit means service of light. There are currently 104 blind and visually impaired children. Majority of them come from very poor families, from the slums and different parts of Karnataka and neighboring states. The sisters run their own primary residential school. The teaching program is the same as in public schools, with working methods adapted to the abilities of blind children. Additional subjects include learning the braille, spatial orientation, especially moving around with a white cane and learning everyday activities, craft, etc. Visually impaired children also have classes to improve their vision. Many children are talented in music and dancing. At the center, they have the opportunity to develop their talents. They learn to play the piano, tabla, guitar, flute, and the keyboard. They learn Carnatic music, Western music, and traditional Indian dance forms like Bharatanatyam and folk dances. Jyoti Seva Society is more than just a series of centers. It is a beacon of hope for the visually impaired, offering a nurturing environment where children and young adults can flourish despite their challenges. At Jyoti Seva, every student is recognized not for their limitations, but for their unique potential. The Society's unwavering commitment to provide love, care, education, and empowerment has transformed lives, turning vulnerability into strength and uncertainty into confidence. Together, we can build a future where the visually impaired can stand tall, contributing their talents and enriching the world around them. We wish them all the best. May God bless all their work and their responsibility.